Imagine spending over 20 years in the Tier 1 automotive supply industry. You've worked your way up the corporate ladder, and you've watched your business unit grow to almost $1 billion in annual revenue. And then you leave it all for a 4-person job shop. In 2015, that's exactly what Jack Russell did. I'm David Lyle with My Machine Shop, and here are 2 things that I learned from his experience. But first, I want to introduce you to Jack Russell.
Jack Russell, president of Rolar Products in Muskegon, Michigan. Former executive in the automotive parts supply business. Got a lot of my training and schooling, so to speak, there. And bought a small machine shop about 7 years ago, and we've grown it to almost 40 people.
Rolar Products experienced huge growth in its early years. It served the refrigeration industry in Michigan and served businesses all over the country.
Yeah, our manufacturing used to consist of multiple screw machines. The company was actually founded as a screw machine company.
When Jack says multiple screw machines, he means like over 50. But the business was changing, and as the previous owners started to get close to retirement, the needs of the shop were starting to change as well. They had to invest in new technologies and new practices to meet the needs of the current market. So what did he do? First, he invested in RealTrack ERP. This shop management software consolidated the many moving parts of the business into one place. When I spoke with Jack, he mentioned that he had a few things that he really liked about the software. It was a home base where he was able to put all of his design files, all of his estimates, and all the notes about the job so that everybody on the shop floor had access to the same stuff in the same place.
So when I bought Rolar Products 7 years ago, we placed our orders on the manufacturing floor on one Excel spreadsheet that had about 4 lines, and it was replaced about once a week. And it's one of the things that I've learned in the automotive industry is you need to know where you're going and how you're going to get there. So one of the first things we did was to put in an ERP system, and that's grown so that now we have at any point in time 200 or 300 manufacturing jobs on the floor. It's a little difficult to keep track on an Excel spreadsheet of where you are and where you're going. Initially, when we implemented the ERP, the first result or the first action most people have, reaction they have is, oh, you're going to watch me. And I reassured them that that's not the case. And if I put an ERP system in to watch them, that meant I didn't trust them. And I inherently trusted them, and I said, we need to keep track of where we're going.
This trust was something that Jack takes very seriously. He wanted an open communication line between him and the people on the shop floor. And so the transparency goes both ways. In their case, they started using financial information on the travelers and in the ERP system that the machinists and operators were able to see. And this helped develop a good relationship in the midst of this transition.
Well, ERP tends to just put data in front of people, and I think human beings are curious by nature. So when they see numbers and parts and how many they have to make, it became so there was more dialogue about the product and less about how long do I have to run this or how many pieces do we have to make. They got more and more engaged in the process of manufacturing and shipping product.
The implementation of the ERP software paved the way for machine monitoring through Datanomics. With this software, they're able to broadcast cycle times, machine status, and all kinds of stuff through TVs throughout the shop. This really opened up a conversation between operators and machinists on who is doing what and how long it's taking one another to do these things. And so they had some interesting conversations about how that went, but it was all, again, about the trust that they developed with one another. With the software side of things figured out, Jack moved on to the hardware, the machines in his shop. And that leads me to the second lesson that I learned from Jack. Keep an open mind towards new technologies. Rolar Products started out as a turning company, but by the time Jack got there was just a few screw machines left. And they weren't meeting the needs and the precision that was required for the quotes that were coming in at this time. For a few years, the shop shifted its focus towards parts that could be completed on its vertical milling centers and its multitasking machines. But the situation came to a head when Jack received a part for quote. It was a bolt with a 5-sided head and some other unique features on it. He wasn't able to get cycle times that he liked from his shop floor, so he called his equipment supplier, and the conversation quickly moved towards Swiss-type lathes.
So initially, we had a product that we were making. It was a 5-sided head bolt, and it took 3 different operations between lathe and mill to be able to manufacture that part we had 7 to 10 minutes in that part. So when the Swiss guys came in and said, yeah, but what about this one? How long would it take to make this one? And at the end of the day, that part was made in about 2.5 minutes. Instead of 7 minutes and 3 operations, it was 2.5 minutes in 1 operation. And the part quality was excellent. So it was kind of a no-brainer, kind of opens your eyes when you buy the latest and greatest, best technology you can buy. You can compete on a world stage.
Before the Star SX38 even arrived at the shop, they had over $40,000 of parts committed to the new machine. The capability transformed the way that they approached volume jobs. And once word got out that there was a new Swiss-type lathe in the area with capacity and a new owner, new industries started showing up, new customers started showing up, and they ran from there.
Yes, completely new industries. I mean, we're in the paintball gun industry, medical, all kinds of exclusive fasteners that are not normally available from a screw machine house kind of thing. So it's really kind of pushed our direction in a way more diverse manner than you could almost with anything else, because there isn't anything you can't make on a Swiss style machine.
As a result of these changes and many other changes that Jack brought to Rolar Products, the company has grown to almost 40 employees, and they just moved into a brand new facility. He keeps 2 of these Swiss-type lathes on order at all times, and he imagines that his new facility can fit almost 50 of them, a throwback to the screw machine days. If you'd like to see your shop featured by Modern Machine Shop, send us an email or leave us a comment on this video. Thanks for watching.